Hi, I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And as a business consultant and life coach, I help you to move forward in your business, project, or endeavor. So if you always wanted to write a book, but you just haven't seemed to get started, or you always wanted to 10x that business that you already have, expand it to the next level, you know exactly what you need to do, but you just haven't done it? Well, I've already purchased all the courses, read all the books, the Tony Robbins, all sorts. I have several degrees, including a master's degree and credits toward a doctorate. I've sat with and met celebrities and done the networking. And what I realized is what I really needed was a mastermind group of people working toward my project, my business, or my endeavor. So what I've done is met with coaches and met with experts and put them together to work on your project. So join us today for our mastermind networking group. I'll see you there. Click the link below and join us.
Hello and welcome to the Ask Arlene show. We're so glad to have you with us today. We have a special show with you today. It is with a special guest, none other than Angela Gibson, who is a fellow business owner extraordinaire. She is a successful business owner. She's also a life coach, and she has had a journey that is worth us listening to today so that we can glean from her wisdom and we can also be able to achieve our goals and live our best lives. And so without further ado, I'd like to welcome some and introduce to others my friend, Angela Gibson. Hi, Angela.
Thank you for having me. Hello,
How
my
are
dear.
you
How are
today?
you? I'm well. Thank you so much. What an honor.
Good, good. So thank you for taking time from your busy business schedule to talk with us today.
Yes,
So
yes.
one of the things that I'd love to hear about before we start, how many years have you been in business, Angela?
So my business started back in 2006,
Okay.
just by myself. I was by myself for several years. More recently, though, I have employees and the whole thing. Yes.
And you do business with the government. What kind of business do you do with the government?
So I provide technology solutions to the federal, state, and local government, as well as educational institutions and some nonprofit organizations as well. Yeah.
Great. And
Yes,
tell
yes.
us, has that been a lucrative business for you? Are you doing well at that business?
Well, girl, I'm just got to tell you that it's a beautiful thing to be in business. I'm not saying it's all peachy all the time, but the privilege and the honor it is to be able to serve in a capacity that I don't see many people that look like me are doing is just, I'm just really grateful. But it is very lucrative because I get to decide my margins, my markups. I drive my own vehicle, so to speak, versus what I was doing before, which was working for people, which serve its purpose. I don't knock jobs at all because I could not have done what I'm doing now if
you didn't have a job first.
Right. I had a job first. So I'm not in any way undermining jobs. I'm just saying it gave me the platform to spring forth from.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, we all had to start somewhere, and that's one of the principles that
Absolutely.
you start where you are. So some of us are, we've been business owners for years, and we're looking to go to the next level. And some of us have day jobs, a 9 to 5, and you're looking to work your way out of that day job, or maybe just expand and move up in that day job. But the reason why I asked you how long you've been there and what you do and whether or not it's lucrative is because on this show, the purpose of the show is how to overcome fear, get unstuck, and live your best life. And we're always talking about how businesses can be lucrative, business can be beneficial. And here's a living, breathing person other than myself sharing that vision. So thank you for spending time with us today. And thank you for the work that you're doing, because you're an example of what a lot of us aspire to do and who a lot of us aspire to be. Now, one of the reasons why you're on the show today is because you've read my book. And I'm so excited.
And I love the first couple of chapters, and I'm going to talk about specifically the things that really resonated with me. The idea of clarity, visualization, but most of all, the momentum piece definitely spoke to me because it reinforces what I already practice daily. So important.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Beautiful, beautiful. So today we're talking about the book, The 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck, and Living Your Best Life. And the team is awesome. They just flashed it there. But we're only going to talk about the first 3 chapters, like she said. So without further ado, clarity. So when I wrote this book on clarity was essential to me. So for those of you that don't know, I was stuck, okay, for lack of a better word. Guys, my story is that I had been the head of a chamber of commerce. I had worked in politics for high-level elected officials. Some you know, some you don't know. Okay, and now I was in a position where I would give consult to the media, to the press about what's going on in the business community. So I was in the newspapers, I was in magazines. And so when I had this challenge, the board of directors changed. And when the board of directors changed, they wanted a new head of their chamber of commerce. So you guys have heard of Black Lives Matter. Well, this Black life didn't matter to them. Even though I had been recruited out of 300 people to go take this job and had been doing it for a while, they wanted their own person. Now, it's not just that they fired me, guys, but when they fired me, they publicly fired me.
Wow.
So my face was on the cover of the newspaper.
You're a lit girl in the wrong way.
Seeing me in the newspaper. But now across my face, it said fired. And I was stuck. You know, not many people get to be on the cover of a newspaper, but to be on the cover and to have it be something derogatory is really, really rough. And I was stuck and I didn't know what to do. That morning, I had to do a speaking engagement for the Rotary Club, and I couldn't get out of bed. I just couldn't go. I was stuck. And then shortly thereafter, my mom passed away of an incurable disease. And my grandmother was 106. So I never expected my mom to go anywhere. And the people in my family tend to live till they're 100 and, you know, so I never expected it.
Right.
And I was really stuck.
Well, you know, I can I just interject right here just to say how admirable that is, just to hear that you picked up yourself to go from the cover newspaper in that was a traumatic experience. That by itself, before you even tell me about your mother, that right there is just really, I can only imagine the feelings, the emotions. It's a reason to be stuck. But tell me, dear, please. But you didn't stop there, so I'm very happy about that.
So I didn't do well with it. So many people go through challenges and they do well. I didn't do well, guys. It took me 3 years to get up. 3 years. I took care of my family, and that was it. I did nothing else. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where to go. I didn't know where to turn. And I tried. I sought out different routes, and eventually I found this woman who was a coach. And I went to a conference about, you know, how to overcome your fears and get unstuck and how to live a better life. And through that conference, I was beginning to get up. That was the beginning of my getting up after the 3 years. And so while I was there, I had the opportunity to meet this wonderful lady who's now a great friend of mine, who I talk to at least once a week. She was also at that conference in California. And along the journey, I was able to come up with these 10 secrets that I believed helped me to get up, and I believe can help others to not only get up and get unstuck, but to begin living their best lives. And so I believe in coaching, so much so that I became a coach, a life coach myself. And I'm surrounded by friends who are also life coaches because we believe in it. We believe that it really makes a difference. So 3 of the topics that we're going to talk about today relate to our own lives and relate to this book, which I would love for you to get. And we want you to start your journey, and we want you to win at the game of life. Okay, so that whatever challenges you're having or whatever goals that you have that are out there, you know, that you can also achieve those goals. So one of the key pieces is clarity. So when I was stuck, Angela and lovely listeners, I did not have clarity. I was fighting to get up, but I didn't know how. I didn't know where to turn. I didn't know where to look. All I knew was for sure, I knew I didn't want to go back to that job. I knew I wasn't going to be a Chamber of Commerce person. I knew I didn't want to go back to politics. So my mom had always wanted me to be a nurse or a teacher because she was a part of, you know, that kind of profession. She was in the medical profession. So I tried teaching for a while, and this is where clarity comes in. You may say to yourself, like I did during that 3-year period, I'm not sure of exactly what it is that I want to do. Do something. Okay?
Absolutely.
Because
and that's key. Because when you get on in my business, when I was starting, I didn't believe, to be honest with you, in the beginning, that I could actually run a business. I didn't know that I could. I actually had someone coaching me, not officially, but my then husband, well, he was my husband, he's my then, I was dating him, would encourage me, say, Angela, you can do this, you can do this. But I always felt like I can't. And I felt like it was too much. And I had to do this part and that part and that part. And he said, all you need, Angela, is a phone and a computer. And I was like, what? It sounded so simple. But to him, it was clear because he would come to my office and see me in action. And because of that, he helped me to believe just a little bit, you know, that I could. And because I started and I got on the corridor, once I was on the corridor, then I was able to see more pathways as I continued along that corridor. But first, to get the clarity to begin, I did need the coaching even to get the clarity, to start to believe. That in itself is a part of the clarity journey too. To believe that you actually could possibly, even a little bit, was very helpful.
Excellent, excellent. To believe.
Believing is part of the clarity.
Beautiful.
I really believe that.
So we want you to be clear about what it is that is the goal. Because without a goal, a clear, definitive goal, it's going to be very hard to achieve it. And I always say an airplane going from New York to California is off course much of the time, but it has a map, okay? It knows exactly where it's going. So you need to be clear about where it is that you're going as well. And like Angela said, she was able to gain clarity through the help of coaching from her then friend, now husband. If you want a husband, get a coach. No, just
but I love the part where you said,
a wife, get a coach. No, that's a joke. Go ahead. What were you going to say?
He wasn't an official coach. He really was just my boyfriend.
Yes.
But I love the point that you made in the book about the fact that the plane doesn't just hang out in the sky. I love that because it gives you a real image of the fact that planes usually have an idea of where they're going. They may get off course, like you said, but they don't just hang out in the sky. I mean, that sounds ridiculous. Yes, it does. It does sound ridiculous. So yeah, it definitely helps. I knew I wanted to start
We think that we're going to just get up in the morning and we're going to accomplish this thing, but we don't know what it is we'd like to accomplish. And that was what I found by going into that space and gaining clarity. So I started teaching. So guys, this is where I say you may not know exactly what you want to do, but start somewhere. So I started teaching, and I was teaching high school kids. And one of the kids said, Miss, are you a motivational speaker? Because you're always talking about you're telling us, how we can do better and live better. And so I didn't really want to talk about the Olmecs. I didn't really want to talk about the Roman Empire. Okay. But I was. But the thing is, at least I was on the journey. I picked
Right.
something, I
Yes.
decided, and I started moving toward it. It wasn't the ideal, but while I was there, I was able to hear and get insight, even from a kid, a high schooler, to say, I think you should be doing something else.
Right, right.
Okay.
And that's the thing, the universe or God or, you know, the spirit speaks to us or speaks to us. And we just have to be able to take the clues because they definitely do come. Success leaves clues, as they say. The clues are there. So for me, it was important for me to pay attention to the fact that people were telling me, Angela, you do well with people. Angela, you're a great salesperson. Angela, people are drawn to you. I had to learn to pay attention to those cues. And for the longest time, I just dismissed them, thinking, oh, I just like talking to people. Oh, I just enjoy conversations on the phone. When my boyfriend showed up, he was like, no, 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 no. I'm from the brokerage industry and you are gold in that industry. You would make so much money in that industry. So I think I don't know who it is. I think I was listening to Les Brown and he said it's often impossible to see a picture while it's in the frame. So we need somebody else sometimes to look in and tell us what's going on. It's the reason for
Excellent. Hence the coach. That's what the coach does. Come alongside you and help you to know what's going on. So that leads to secret number 2, which is visualization. And I'm going to ask you exactly how you did your visualization, Angela, and how the book was able to help you in terms of the visualization process as soon as we come back.
All right.
I'm Arlene, host of the television talk show Ask Arlene, which airs on Thursdays at 6:30. And I'm here to tell you 2 reasons why you should join our Speakers Bureau training and how to become a world-class speaker. 1, revenue generation. People who know how to communicate well earn more dollars and cents. And 2, if you have a day job, you're not a speaker, teacher, author, trainer, you're going to gain promotion on your job if you're better able to communicate with confidence in those board meetings. Now, you say, why should I join your group, Arlene? There's so many programs out there. Well, I'm guaranteeing you an interview on television or radio if you complete our 10 sessions of our Speakers Bureau training. So I have a plethora of friends that do the same types of things that I do. And so we're guaranteeing you an interview on either television or radio. And you say, well, why else, Arlene? Why else should I join? Well, if you join our Speakers Bureau, after having taken the 10-session training, I am going to help you along with our team to launch that speaking career that you always envisioned so that you can use your message to change the world. So there's so many programs out there and they tell you how to be a speaker, but I'm going to actually help you to get booked on paid speaking engagements on television and on radio if you complete all 10 sessions and you join our Speakers Bureau. I hope to see you there and see you using your dream, your vision, and your talent to change the world. Bye-bye. See you there.
Hi there. Welcome back. So this is Arlene McLaren, the host of the show, and I'm here with Angela Gibson, who is a fellow coach, fellow business owner, entrepreneur, and very successful entrepreneur at that. We're talking about the book, 10 Secrets to Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck. Let's flash the book. And after Overcoming Fear, Getting Unstuck After COVID-19, which is a book that I've written, and I'd love for you guys to go and get your copy of the book. We're talking about visualization, which is secret number 2. And Angela is telling us how she used visualization, secret number 2 from the book, to help her to accomplish some of the things that she's doing in her life.
So visualization is so important to me on a daily basis, because this idea to be able to see what I want my revenues to be for each month, forget about each month, each week, I have to see it first. And getting up in the morning and writing out my visualization definitely helps. Sometimes I have them pre-written, and standing in front of the mirror, sometimes I have my kids do it with me, is very, very is invaluable. It's indispensable, actually. The tool to be able to say, I earn 30,000 this week. I close my eyes. I'm actually closing my eyes in front of the camera, but that's actually what I do. I close my eyes and I literally repeat it aloud, to be able to say that this is what I want and this is what I'm expecting, and to engage my emotions, my feelings, my thoughts in the process. Not just saying words definitely is very helpful, and it shouldn't really be a secret, Arlene. I have to tell you, it can't afford to be a secret. You have to make sure that the whole world knows. Because
Thank you. I'm glad. I'm glad you say that, because we don't really want it to be a secret, but you know, it seems like many people start with their visualizations and they say visualization does not work for them. But one of the reasons why is what you just said, Angela, and it's in the book. We talk about your emotions. Your emotions have to be connected with the visualization. That's really the secret sauce to visualization. So some people will say, yeah, I have a house. I have a house on a hill. I have a house on a hill. No, but you have to feel that you actually have the emotion and the joy, and that's what truly will springboard you into then part 3, which is putting into action the things that are going to cause you to have that to have the realization of the visualization. Okay, so in the interest of time, we're going to go to secret number 3. Secret number 3 in the book was what, Angela? Momentum. So many people lack momentum, and this is an area where you are great, Angela. You are great at this.
Momentum is my friend. Momentum is everybody's friend. Trust me. When you have momentum, no matter what else is falling down, you're on your way.
So it says a lack of momentum. Many times people have these things on their mind. So they've done part 1. They have decided and determined what they want to do. They're visualizing what it is. They're seeing it in their mind's eye. They're getting excited, but they're plotting and they're planning and they're scheming and they never actually do it. Okay. Remember I said with momentum now, you have to begin to move. Even though you don't know all the pieces of the puzzle, you don't have everything already laid out. We must begin and do something. Remember I said I started teaching and then I realized that wasn't it, and I shifted. Instead of talking to kids, now I'm talking to adults, and I'm still going back to my former job where I'm talking to business owners, but not just in general, but in terms of life coaching. So I went to get my certification and all that good stuff. My question for you, Angela, is in this area of momentum, what was it that helped you to move? Because many people know they need to move and they have all the pieces of the puzzle, but it's hard to move, just like it was for me at that time.
Well, your book really captured that really well. I don't know that I would have broken it down this way, but it's exactly what I did. It says, you say that you must do something that you must do something, not just should do something, you must do it. And then you said, do something that you love. And then you said, then just do it. So it's the must, it's the love, and the do. So when I was starting my business, I had to decide that when I get up in the morning, I must make my cold calls. I must connect with the end user. I must, regardless of how they respond, I must. I already knew that I love selling. So I was already doing something I love because I'd been doing it for 15 years prior. So I wasn't thinking to myself, I should make those calls. That doesn't work. I must. My minimum must for me is 100 calls a day. I don't do 100 calls as much anymore because I have people working for me now. But when I was starting out, the minimum, sometimes I'll go over that. Between the cold callings and the following up, I must do that. I loved it. So that was a no-brainer. And then I definitely just do it. I lost sound.
Sometimes I'm on the show and I'm talking about the secret of momentum and I'm telling people you have to get started and you must move forward and you must, but without your preliminary things in order, you would not have been able to step forward. So my question for you is, was there ever a time where you felt stuck and you weren't able to do it? What was the impetus that made you move forward with that momentum?
The thing for me, again, was because I loved what I was doing. I loved selling. I love connecting with people. I love breaking down the barriers and obstacles that comes with sales. I actually enjoy that process. Most people run from it. So because I love it, it became play. It is play. But I do recognize that most of society don't find that to be play. So that broke down my barriers.
Beautiful. We had a lovely lady on the show once. She's a sales expert. Narelle. I know you should know Narelle. You remember her?
I can't say
She's
that.
with Motivating the Masses. And she said, she's the key salesperson. And she said that the key piece of the puzzle when you're doing sales is love. She said love. That you actually, not just that you love what you're doing, but you actually love the people. And that's why she's so successful at sales. So many of you who are sitting there saying, well, I don't want to sell. I want a business. I have a business, but I don't want to make 100 cold calls. If you truly love the people and you're thinking about it from the perspective of, I have something to offer them that they need, then you're going to be more inclined to do it. So in the last minute of the show, is there anything that I have not asked you or haven't brought up that you would like to bring up, Angela, about the book, or, you know, that...
what I would say is really mind your mental state. Really mind it. Be mindful. As an entrepreneur, with over multiple 7 figures in business, I'm saying to you, unless I get up with a mindset that this is my garden and I've got to pluck the weeds daily and tend to it, they will take over. So that is the piece that I would think that every entrepreneur, anybody who wants to get unstuck and move their life forward or live their best life and overcome fear, that is the number one thing that I think is critical. It was critical for me in my business, in starting, growing, and having continued for the past 16 years. And that can never be understated.
Beautiful.
Mind your mind.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on the show and joining us. Congratulations on the success of your business and on loving your clients and on loving what you do. And I hope that you will join us again at another time. Will you join us again at another juncture?
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. I'm very honored and so grateful I get to share.
Thank you. I'm going to ask you to share your website before you close out so that you can let the people know where to find you. So
for coaching, it's evespeaks.com. If you're interested in technology, though, you need to go to abrahamsconsulting.com.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. I'd like to thank our team, William and Angel, for joining us today. I would like to thank you, our listeners, because without you, we don't have a show. And I invite you to go to AskArleneShow.com, where you can see all of our former guests and several of our former shows and be able to get in contact with us. And I invite you to remember that you can go where you want to go, you can do what you want to do, and you can be who you want to be in the world. Thank you for spending time with us today, and we look forward to seeing you again next week, same time, same place. Bye-bye. Name some things I'll be without you, good. Stop the growth, I bet you think you could. Said you gon' leave me, man, I wish you would. Yeah, I'm different, so I'm misunderstood. So I'ma always be good. Said I'ma always be good.